We're live? Live from Greenfield Central High School. Welcome to tonight's 2020 Football Awards Night virtual edition. Okay? Virtual edition. Unfortunately, obviously this isn't what we wanted to do, to be able to bring people. We wanted to be able to bring kids in and honor you guys the right way and things, but due to COVID restrictions and limited numbers on people we could have in venues. We're limited to 50 people only, and that counted coaches. So we didn't really want to be separated from everybody because we're a team and a family. We wanted to do it all together. And then you run the risk of, if you wait till the spring, you're worried about, will they shut us down and we're not able to do anything at all. So bringing everybody together tonight for our virtual awards night. So welcome to that. The first thing I want to do is I've got a list of people and things and people and businesses that I want to thank that really helped us out this year to get things off the ground. The first special thanks, I want to thank our assistant coaches. I know, coaching football, a lot of people don't understand this, but there's a lot of time that goes in and preparation that goes in, and we're spending time away from our families, and I'm spending time away from my kids, and they're spending time away from their kids, and I think it's important to understand that these guys have dedicated time away from their families to spend it with your sons, to helping them get better every day and turn them into the men that they're going to become. And I really believe this wholeheartedly. We've got a great assistant coaching staff. Our guys put in an inordinate amount of time getting ready, preparation, and doing all that kind of stuff. So thanking those guys first and foremost, and to kind of segue into that, I want to thank the coaches' wives. Because if they're anything like my wife, they're pretty much a single mom for about 6 months a year while we're over here doing our thing. And I know sometimes it's difficult to understand when you have another meeting or you have to do more film, and sometimes it's a little difficult to understand that. But the preparation that we put in, we really believe that it helps us make a difference in the game. And wives, you put up with a lot of stuff, so we want to thank you as well. Next, I want to thank all you parents. This year was obviously a very strange year, just to say the least, with how things were operated. We starting practice later at 4 o'clock, having longer practices, dealing with the COVID issues that we've had in the past and things like that. It really became a burden on a lot of people. And I want to thank you guys for staying with us and trusting the process and how we did things here, and trusting your kids in our care. Because we know this is some trying times, some scary times, but just your support and being a good mom and dad, or grandma and grandpa, or whatever the case is, helped us out tremendously. It helped our kids' morale. We were quarantined for 14 days. I know a lot of our guys are struggling. When we weren't able to practice in the summer, I was struggling. So I know how some of our guys must have felt, and just to have a season in general was a huge boost for us. And I know it was tough, obviously, being quarantined those days. But in the end, your support with your son and your support with our team, it just means the world to us. And I want to thank you once again for that. I want to thank the Greenfield administration, our athletic department, our front office people, and our central office people have done a great job. We couldn't get things done if it wasn't for them. Having a new weight room facility, having a new locker room facility was huge for the kids, long overdue. We're almost done with the weight room right now. We got a lot of stuff in today. So, if you get an opportunity, please stop by and check that out when you're here. So they've done a lot to really help support and foster our resurgence in sports here in general, especially football. I want to thank the football boosters. Steve Zeller's president. Also want to thank Danette and Tim Looper for all they did with the pregame meals and getting that stuff ready. That's not easy to do either. A lot of times that's a job nobody wants to do at all. So, we're happy to have people like that in charge in those positions to help delegate that workload off, because it's one less thing I have to worry about. And with all the things we had go on this year, I can't thank those guys enough for stepping up and handling that for us. Chicago's Pizza donated a meal for us this year, and one of our managers is a worker there. So thanks to Chicago's Pizza for that donation. I want to thank John Kennedy for all John does for our program. Taking those photos. I mean, you're getting professional photos of your kids posted on Facebook every night, and John does that just out of the goodness of his heart and because he cares and loves GC football and GC sports in general. And that's not something that's common in a lot of programs. So I want to thank John for all he does and all he continues to do for us. I want to thank the Stump family for the senior poster work that they do every year and did again this year. I know it was a little frustrating getting that done at last minute, but with COVID it was tough for us with building restrictions and things. So thanks to the Stumps. Jason Pope with Jostens for the work with the banners. Want to thank Ryan Galloy and our other trainers. I say this, and I've said it before, we do have the best training staff that I've ever been a part of. Ryan is a trainer that gets it. He cares about your kids. He understands sports medicine. He's going to get your kids back out there, and he's not going to hold them out unless absolutely necessary. And he is a great trainer, and he's got some great assistants working for him as well. Did a great job for us this year, and continue to do a great job for us. Next, I want to thank our managers. I will tell you this: we are losing some great managers. Best managers I've ever had. Kelsey Stump, Kaylee Kennedy, Courtney Kellums, and Emma Nelson's coming back for us, so Emma's going to have to have some pretty big shoes to fill. But our three senior managers have just done an outstanding job for us. We as coaches, there's a lot of work that they do for us that it would be hard for us to function if we didn't have the field set up. We didn't have somebody filming games. We didn't have somebody fixing helmets. These guys are the best ones, and I'll tell you what, they're going to be sorely missed and very, very difficult to replace. Many of these girls have been doing it for the whole time they've been in high school. Like I said, I'm going to miss every one of them. I wish that they had another year, and if they're not doing anything in the fall, they can come back and help us out because we'd love to have you girls back. But I appreciate everything you guys have done for the 4 years you've been here. I know I've only had you for 2, but it's been a great 2 years, and you're going to be missed. And Emma, you better find some friends because you got some big shoes to fill. So, and lastly on here, I want to thank our players. Okay, players, I know things were difficult for you this year with COVID and some of the changes. You missed team camp, you missed some games, you missed all kinds of stuff that you wouldn't have probably missed in a different environment, a different setting. But I thought, the resilience that we showed and the poise that we had and the hard work and efforts that you put in, you're starting to see that stuff pay off on the field. And not only are we as coaches seeing it, but your parents are seeing it and fans are seeing it. And seniors, a special thanks to you guys for dedicating all your time. I wish I'd had you for 4 years. I've said that to several of you. I've said that publicly. My biggest regret is I didn't get to coach you for 4 years. I wish I would have been able to do that because, at the end of the day, you guys are laying the foundation and the groundwork for what we're going to continue to build here. And I've said this to you guys before, and I'll say it again, that you're going to be able to go back one day and you're going to say, I was there and I helped build that. And you're going to be able to be proud of where we continue to go in the future as a program, okay, because you've laid the foundation and the groundwork for that. I can't thank you enough for all the dedication, all the hard work, accepting our coaching. That's accepting our criticism when we coach you too, and getting better. And that's something that doesn't stop. Our goals here as a program have always been to make you the best man that you can be. And I can tell you right now that I'm so proud that we're going to graduate a senior class that's going to do big things. You guys are going to go on to do big things, whether it's go to college and get a great job, go into the military, or go into the workforce. I'm confident and I'm proud that we're putting people out there that are going to be great men and great fathers one day. We want to develop your sons' parents to make them the best players and the best men that they can be more than anything else. And that's what we're striving to do, and we'll continue to work to do in the future with everyone else. Thanks again. Okay, appreciate all the people that I previously mentioned. And if I've left anybody out, that was not done intentionally. There's a lot of pieces and parts that go into making a football season successful and running a football program. It's not just X's and O's and plays. There's a lot of people that go into that. And if I've left anybody out, I apologize for that as well. At this time, we're going to announce our participation award winners for the 2020 football season. So Coach Kuntz is going to bring me up some things here, and I'm going to read these off for you, okay? And this will be in order by grade, freshman through up. First player is Wyatt Carlson. Acknowledge Wyatt. Braden Fleener. Jacob Hinton. Cash Looper. Drew Maraska. Dayron Olden Turner. Alex Peter. Devin Peter. DJ Ramirez. Joseph Schiniger. Isaiah Stevens. Lane Wadle. Logan Zellers. Okay, appreciate all you guys have done. We had some great moments on our JV this year, and was very proud to be able to have the first year of C-team football, probably in a long time here, and I think that's crucial in these younger guys' development as players. Okay, so those were our freshmen. Moving on to our sophomores: Trenton Bailey, Connor Dodson, Garrett Mullen. Happy birthday, Garrett, by the way. Garrett Rincones, Trent Rosemeyer, Adam Saxon, Ezra Spear, and Colin Stanley. Appreciate all your guys' hard work and dedication to the program this year as well. Okay. At this time, okay, we're going to acknowledge our letter winners for the 2020 football season. So in order to receive a varsity letter, there's some criteria you have to meet. So I'll go through that so we all understand here. Number one, okay, you have to participate in more than 50% of all varsity quarters. Okay, so we got to go back and count how many quarters everybody played, and you have to participate in more than 50%. Okay, if you were an injured player who would have lettered, but an injury left you out, you're able to receive a letter at that point in time. And then new this year, something that I was able to add in year 2 that I wasn't able to add in year 1 because of the timing that I got the job was we have a new award this year. Okay, a new award that I've named the Scout Team Player of the Year Award. And the Scout Team Player of the Year Award will go to an individual that may not have lettered, okay, but played scout team offense or defense for us and was voted on by their team to receive that award. And if they were not a letterman, they will receive a letter for that as well. Okay, so I'm going to read off our letter winners at this point in time. Our first recipient is Reese Hill. Brad Allen. Owen Anderson. Will DeJarnette. Braden Harrell. Brody Mayberry. Caleb Means. Caleb Nelson. Grant Shepard. Garrett Taylor. And Andrew Zellers. Okay? Next, we have Larry Bellows, Brady Durnell, Logan Evans, Sam Hall, Spencer Johnson, Hudson McGuire, Hunter Fegley, Joey Rowland, Jacob Skinner, Rashawn Street, Josh Van Osdel, Dewey Woolsey, Cody Hargett, Jake Holman, Skylar Huffman, Manager Kaylee Kennedy, Jack Mays, Caleb McIntyre, Lance McKee, Chris O'Connor, Kyle Proper, Scott Stanley, Manager Kelsey Stump, Preston Taylor, and Anthony Wallace. Okay? All of those individuals received the varsity letter this year. If you are missing chevrons or need letters or need the letter to go get a letter jacket, I have all that stuff. So when you get back to school, whether you're on a blue or gold day, come see me in the weight room. I will get you those certificates. If anybody did not receive one, okay, that we missed, okay, don't blame that on me. That's on the athletic department down there. We'll get it fixed for you, I promise. Okay, I did intentionally leave anyone out, so we will make sure that that gets corrected as soon as possible, and I will make sure that happens, and you'll get acknowledged as well. Okay. Next, moving on, I want to recognize the two members that were selected to the all-conference football team. Number one, Lance McKee, and then Anthony Wallace were both selected to the HHC all-conference team. Personally, I felt like we should have got more people on there, but it's kind of very political, and I'm not allowed to vote on my own players. So, we're going to work hard in the future for you guys that didn't get on there to take the respect and make sure that there's no doubt that we should have more guys on there. So in the future, that's something that we're going to work diligently to improve upon and going forward. Want to acknowledge also our 4-year participants. So these are players that have played for 4 years high school football. You'll receive a plaque, okay? So when you get back, when you come to school and have me in weights, come on down to that and get that from us, okay? First is Chris O'Connor. Chris O'Connor, 4-year participant. Okay. Next we have Kyle Proper, 4-year participant. Okay. Lance McKee, 4-year participant. Skylar Huffman, 4-year participant. Jacob Holman, 4-year participant. Scott Stanley, 4-year participant. Anthony Wallace, 4-year participant. Kelsey Stump, 4-year participant. And Kaylee Kennedy, 4-year participant. Also on there that they missed a plaque for Preston Taylor. Preston Taylor is also a 4-year participant. He will get you a plaque, Preston, as soon as it comes in. I already let them know that it wasn't there. Okay. Also want to point out, too, and make sure I forgot to mention this earlier in terms of lettering and awards, you have to also finish the season in good standing, which means you have to be academically eligible to receive any kind of certificate or letter award at the end of the year. So if anybody got left out, those criteria might be in place as well. So see me if you have questions. I'd be more than happy to discuss it with your parents or players. And if we left anybody else off, it was not intentional, I promise. Okay. Moving forward, okay, at this point in time, I'm going to bring Coach Taylor up, and he's going to present the JV Defensive Player of the Year award. Now, I want to preface this by saying that any award we have that's a special award, like we're getting ready to present, all these awards were 100% solely voted on by players, okay? I believe as a coach that there's nothing more important than getting nominated by your peers. So all these awards that we're getting ready to pass out were voted on by players at the end of the year. So when you receive this, it's within good faith that you know that you've impressed your players, okay, and you made an impression upon your brothers on the team. So without further ado, Coach Taylor will come up and present the JV Defensive Player of the Year award.
Thank you, Coach. Well, it was nice to see that we had a resurgence defensively, not only on Friday nights, but also on Mondays and Saturdays as well. And one of those players that has a bright future and is creating that resurgence is the junior varsity defensive player of the year, and that's Reese Hill. We look he's got a bright future. We're excited for him. We're excited about how he played, not only on Mondays, but in spots on Fridays too. And Reese, you're well deserving of this award. Hope you can see it there in virtual land. And we look for more things for you in the near future. Next on our agenda, as we move this along, is Coach Kuntz with the JV Offensive Player of the Year.
Thanks. So our JV had, as Coach Taylor kind of alluded to, a little bit of a resurgence. If there's any doubt of that, then you should take a look at 3 games. So there were 3 games in which we had both our freshmen and our JV playing together, Shelbyville, Yorktown, and Guerin Catholic. I don't know if people realize it, but we finished 3-0 in all 3 of those in those games. And we would have had Delta too, and I'm pretty sure we've had a 4th, but that's neither here nor there. But our non-varsity players are kind of don't get a whole lot of practice time in our offense, so those JV games are really their biggest opportunity to shine. Our JV Offensive Player of the Year is truly an awesome kid to get to coach every day. His player's work ethic is unlike anyone else's. He is constantly on offensive and defensive scout teams. I'm pretty sure he's a better quarterbacks coach than I am. but he might as well have a spot on our staff because he's a great kid. But without further ado, our junior varsity offense player of the year is Josh Van Osdol. Congratulations, buddy. And I will also introduce our scout team player of the year. So kind of the same deal. Our scout team is a great chance for our players to get to practice because they don't get a whole lot of reps on our varsity team. So if you're a player that didn't get a whole lot of time on varsity, you should be pushing yourself every day to get time on scout team. I want to make that clear. That's your best opportunity to improve on a day-to-day basis. There's kind of a stigma that scout team's inferior, but you got to get in on scout team reps. But with that being said, scout team is tough because we're running a lot of offenses that aren't ours. And this player, gosh, took a beating at times from our Swiss cheese defense, but he had a great attitude, and he really impressed us. There's a few kids that got time on varsity this year specifically because of their effort on scout team. Josh Van Osdol, Owen Anderson, Grant Shepard, Luke McKee, and Reese Hill. But our scout team player of the year was tough, and I didn't know if he was going to make it. He was our first kid to throw up this year also. But his name is Luke McKee, scout team player of the year. Congratulations. And as Coach Nolting mentioned earlier, scout team player of the year gets a varsity letter. So congratulations, Luke. Next up is special teams player of the year, and Coach Taylor will come back.
Swiss cheese defense. I'm not so sure about that. As the program continues to get better and better again, as more and more kids participate, as the strength of the program starts to show itself on Friday nights, in particular with close games and wins and things of that nature. One of the things that you can see that's happening is how our special teams play and how it becomes more resurgent and better as this process goes along. And this player in particular did that for us and did that very well. He not only did that in the special teams, but he was also a key part offensively. He was certainly a key part defensively, but he's the Swiss Army knife of football players. He can do pretty much anything, and that certainly was the case on special teams. So our special teams player of the year was Rashawn Street. Congratulations, Rashawn. There's your plaque, and you're well deserving of the award and many more things because you're a great kid and a quality player. Next up will be Coach Heckley with the most improved.
This year for most improved is one of these individuals that every single day he was there, never took a day off, constantly was on the field. Actually, one of the coaches already alluded to him on offense, but defensively I can speak as far as every single time he took the field. He did single thing that we did to coach him. He was always coachable, always tried to work as hard as he possibly could to implement whatever it was we were teaching him. He, without any doubt at all, is going to be a player that's going to shine for us in the future. Most improved this year, Grant Shepard. And next is Coach Toll.
And Grant's mom, if you're watching, thanks for letting him play.
All right, well, there's a whole lot that I could say about our defensive lineman of the year. I mean, he was a dude who kind of fell into the role that we needed to last year, and from there he just sort of, he took off. Coach Nolting being a former defensive lineman, and just he and I talking with Coach Taylor and stuff, we started looking at it, and he's just that special kind of athletic kid. We always were talking about how good of hands that he's got, and his feet are great and all this stuff. And, of course, the stats show for it. He's got like 22 tackles, led the team in tackles for loss, I think, was almost at a sack a game, which is pretty incredible. So our defensive lineman player of the year is Joey Rowland. Okay, there's your plaque. very enjoyable. Did a great job. Great kid to be around. Love having you there with the defensive lineman. Next up is Coach Holden for the offensive lineman of the year.
Thanks, Coach Stoll. Before I get into the offensive lineman of the year, I want to say a few remarks about what it was like for me to coach offensive line this year. I've never coached O-line before Coach Knowlton came, and we talked about it, and he was gracious enough to let me try it. I always wanted to coach O-line because of the impact our offensive line coach had on me when I was in high school, and I've loved every minute of it. Having said that, being an offensive lineman isn't always very much fun. There's other positions, they do drills where there's not a lot of contact. All we do is hit each other. And when you're a 160-pound offensive lineman and you're going up against a 300-pound Anthony Wallace type kid, sometimes it's not much fun. But I think with this crew, I think we had fun pretty much every day. Proud to call myself a hog, and I just appreciate, what all you guys have taught me. Sometimes coaches think we're here to teach you, and I think the opposite happens, so I appreciate you. Offensive lineman of the year, man, a lot of things I can say about him. Big, strong, really good at blocking people, but a super nice kid too. And I think the reason he's most deserving of this award is because he'd be the first one to say give it to somebody else. So I think he was a great leader on our offensive line, well deserving of the award. Anthony Wallace. Congratulations, buddy. Next up, I guess, is Coach Knowlton.
Okay, I'm back up here again. We have a new award this year, and a couple new awards that I started and changed some things around because I was allowed to this year. And this one is called the True Grit Award. There's two things that if you ask your son that we're looking for in a player, the first one is high moral character. So what that is you're doing the right things when the coaches aren't watching, okay? If we're not watching you, we're not pushing on you, we're doing the right things when we're not around. When no one's around, are you doing the right thing? And the second thing we look for is grit. Grit can be defined as a lot of things, but we define this toughness. Toughness mentally, toughness physically, toughness spiritually. All those things fall into that category. And the best way I can describe this award is called the True Grit Award, okay? This award goes to the individual, and this is how I describe it to the kids, that maybe it went through a tough time and battled back, or maybe had an injury and overcame it, or maybe they are a guy that if you were getting a fight, you want them to have your back and be in your corner, okay? And I don't think that this award could have gone to a more deserving player. This individual, man, I'll tell you what, wasn't the biggest guy out there, but, man, had the biggest heart. He was a great lineman for us. Battled through a very significant injury. His junior year came back to play when a lot of people thought that there was no way he was going to be able to come back because the injury he had should have put him out for the whole year. But, my gosh, the work ethic of Scott Stanley is second to none. I think he's one of the toughest kids that I've ever had the privilege to coach. I don't know if you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody tougher than Scott Stanley. And I will tell you this, not only is he tough, but he's a great young man who's going to do big things with his life. So this year's the first inaugural True Grit Award goes to Scott Stanley. So congratulations, Scott. Well deserved, Scott. And up next, I have who we got next here, guys? Coach Taylor. Coach Taylor's back up for Defensive Player of the Year.
This award in particular signifies an individual performance, but personally, it signifies a brotherhood of performers that were on the defense. This is probably in a lot of years, this is probably one of my more fun years of coaching a group of kids defensively that were so different, that were so abnormal. But they got it. They enjoyed it. They loved playing defense with one another. They're goofy. It's almost like the island of misfit toys, but yet they gelled together in an unbelievable fashion. And fortunately, 90% of them are coming back next year, so that makes me smile right there. But so when we give this award out, this is one for the group in particular, because this is certainly one of the deep brothers in the brotherhood of the defense. The Defensive Player of the Year is Joseph Rowland. He's well deserving. He was a difference maker. When we needed a play, he was there. When we would have conversations on the sidelines, especially in certain scenarios, he was always giving great information to me, which is incredibly important as we continue to work on the defense throughout the game. And so for the rest of the members, you can get after Joey when you come and see him at school when you can. But he's done a great job this year. So congratulations, Joey, on your award. Next up is Coach Nolting with the Offensive Player of the Award.
As I said before, we changed some awards around. These awards replace the Team MVP award. I've always believed that, especially when you're at a school that's our size, okay, you're going to have a lot of guys that play one way, and it's really difficult to give an MVP award away when you've got guys on both sides of the ball that can do some special things. So changing these to Offensive Player and Defensive Player of the Year, I think, is a good move for us, because it embodies kind of where we are as a program and who we are as a program, and kind of where we're going in the future. And just like Coach Taylor said, man, it's a fun year to coach. I know the record probably doesn't indicate it, and it's not where we wanted to be, but I will tell you, and I know that you guys that are all watching and watch from the stands can see the improvements that these guys have made, the toughness, the dedication, the commitment, and that is a testament to how hard our guys have worked on both sides of the ball. This year we were able to do something that probably hasn't happened in a long time here also, and that's we were almost 100% two-platoon, meaning that we had almost 11 starters on offense and 11 starters on defense, which allowed us to keep our guys fresher and play a little tougher in games. And when the game got into the final two quarters, we had gas left in the tank where other teams did not. Now, we're going to continue to work to where we finish those games that we were in and should have won. But I can say without any hesitation that the Offensive Player of the Year award this year went to a very deserving young man. When I got here, this young man, I think, decided to play about a week before we officially started the season. He came out for us, learned the offense in a week, which is real difficult to do, first of all, but he's very smart, and that's a testament about how smart he really is. Heck of an athlete. Led us this year in rushing, led the conference in rushing this year, was an all-conference player for us. Great young man. I mean, if you had to look up your stereotypical Hollywood movie quarterback, Lance McKee would be the defining. Thered be a picture of Lance McKee. He's the Freddie Prinze Jr. of Greenfield Central. He's got the Camaro. He's got the blonde golden locks. He's got it all. And obviously his peers think he does too, because they selected him this year to be the Offensive Player of the Year. He's going to be missed, no doubt about it. I know Coach Kuntz and I are already talking about it. We got great players coming up to replace him, but Lance, we're going to miss you. We love you. Congratulations. You are the Offensive Player of the Year this year. Congratulations to Lance McKee. Okay. Our next two awards, and the reason I do these next two awards last is because I think they're the most important. Okay. These awards are leadership awards and mental attitude awards that have special and specific meaning. I'm going to bring Coach Taylor up here in a minute to introduce the Eddie Moore Mental Attitude Award winner, and this is named after a young man that played on the 1973, I believe, state championship team, and was also, as a veteran, was in the Vietnam War and was tragically killed in Vietnam, I believe. Nope, I'm wrong. Okay. Coach will read that off up there and give you the background about that. But these awards are special in their own right, because these young men and these men dedicated a lot to the program and their community, and to be selected for these awards is a very big achievement. So the first up we have is I'll bring Coach Taylor up to introduce the Eddie Moore Mental Attitude Award. So Coach Taylor, come on up.
Of all the years that I in particular and a lot of these guys have been around the program, and this is one that's near and dear to everyone in the community and in town in particular because of Eddie's toughness. From what I understand, through his battle with cancer, he was on the 73 state championship team. He passed away in 1975. I'll read the inscription that's on here. Eddie Moore was a valued member of the Greenfield Central High School 73 state championship football team. Eddie knew nothing less than giving 100% effort. His heart and character were what made him special, and because of that, he was loved and admired by not only his teammates, but by coaches, teachers, and students alike. Eddie passed away from cancer in 1975, fighting it the way he did everything with the last ounce of energy he had. This award honors his courage, strength, and integrity. And this year's winner is Scott Stanley. Congratulations, Scott. And for our last award, Coach Knowlton.
And I'll say one more final thing about these awards. In the past, what I've liked to do, and I did last year, was bring the families back to present these awards, or the surviving family members of Clayton Myers and Eddie Moore. Unfortunately, with COVID this year, we're not able to do that. So they give us a pretty big background of why these men were important, what they did, and what they dedicated to the school and the community. And I think that it's important to continue to keep that tradition alive. So that's something in the future we'll do to honor these guys and what they did and what they did for Greenfield and what they did for their communities. The last award we have is the Clayton Myers Leadership Award. Football coach Clayton Myers led the Greenfield Tigers and later the Greenfield Central Cougars from 1963 through 1978. His passion for teaching the game and motivating young athletes did not diminish over his reign. Coach Myers said it best: "You can have good athletes, but if they do not play together, you won't win." Boy, that's a true quote. Coach Myers' distinguished career resulted in a coaching record of 100 wins, 52 losses, and 3 ties, which included leading the Cougars to a 2A state championship in 1973, a Final Four appearance in 1974, and a 2A state runner-up appearance in 1975. This award goes to the Cougar football senior who embodies dedication and leadership that Coach Myers thought to be important, and we all think to be important. I can't say enough about this. It's a great honor to present this award, and it was such a shame this year because when we typically do the Avenue of Flags and have the kids go over and plant those flags, Clayton Myers has a flag over there that we spend time as a group, and I have the guys that were around back then talk to the kids about the importance of Coach Myers and what he did for the community and for the program. And we weren't able to do that this year from COVID, and that was such a letdown. But it's with my great honor and privilege to present this award to one of the best leaders that I've ever coached or had on any team that I've been at. This young man really bought into the process that we brought to Greenfield Central a couple years ago, and took time out of his day to check on his teammates, took time to make sure that we didn't have any issues when they were out in the community and doing things. Maybe it was at a restaurant, or maybe it was at a sporting event or whatever. But this young man really embodies what it means to be a Greenfield Central Cougar. And I can't say enough about him. We're going to miss this guy exponentially. As a person, as a player, I've already offered him a coaching staff job in the future. He thought I was maybe joking with him, but Chris O'Connor, if you want to come back and help us out, you're more than welcome to. But this year's Clayton Myers Leadership Award winner, Chris O'Connor. Congratulations, Chris. Okay. That concludes all of the awards that we're passing out tonight, all of these plaques and things. Some of you have buttons and clocks and patches and these things to pick up. I'm going to have all that in my office in the weight room. Okay, you can come by and pick that up at your own leisure when you're here. Okay, don't come back when it's a gold day and you're not supposed to be here, or a blue day and you're not supposed to be here. Come in. I'm down here every day. You can get that stuff from me. You guys that did receive a varsity letter, you will get a letter from the school that authorizes you to buy a letter jacket at Team Image. You'll have to take that with you when you do go make that purchase, go in and get that. But I have all those things, and if we're missing something, you didn't get something, I will tell you this: the athletic department has made some changes. They're phasing some things out, but I couldn't tell you, what you get something for 2 years and 4 years and 3 years and all those kinds of things. So it's kind of a mess, but I have all that stuff. And whatever we don't have, if we didn't get you something and you needed something, we'll make sure that you get it, okay? Closing remarks tonight, I just want to say a couple things before I let everybody go. Starting next Monday, okay, Mondays and Wednesdays next week, we're going to start after-school weightlifting from 4 to 5:30 p.m. for anybody that's not in a winter sport. Okay, so if you're a football guy and you're not playing winter sport right now, we're going to lift. So here's what that does. Even if you're in my lifting class, I want you there because now we can get 3 days of lifting in, okay? We got a rare opportunity right here, right now. Most of our competition schools are virtual, so they're not able to lift weights, okay? We're not, so we can. So Mondays and Wednesdays, 4 to 5:30, okay, in the weight room, we will have after-school weightlifting. Okay, if you are not playing a winter sport, wrestling, basketball, swimming, whatever, okay, the expectation is that you attend, okay? We have something special brewing here, okay? I can tell you with all certainty that you can just feel a different atmosphere in the air about Greenfield Central football. We're getting better, and we're getting better every day. And it's that continued work that we've put in. And I know Chris would make fun of me for saying this. I gave a speech one time about climbing Mount Everest and how there are literally hundreds of people that didn't make it. They're dead on Mount Everest, and they're pretty much landmarks now for everybody else that's climbing. We're going to continue climbing a mountain. We're not going to become a casualty. We're not going to be satisfied until we plant our flag at the mountain peak, okay? And with that being said, it is imperative that you continue to dedicate and do all the things necessary to make us better as a program and continue to do the work and put the work in. We've not achieved our goals yet, okay? We got to keep working towards those goals, and we're going to continue to do that as the future develops here. So Mondays and Wednesdays, starting December 7th, 4 to 5 p.m., after-school weightlifting. Expect to see you there, okay? Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight on the live stream for the awards night. Again, I apologize. Not the way we wanted to do this at all. You guys deserve better. Unfortunately, with the regulations and things like that, we're not able to do it. But I appreciate everything you guys have done. Seniors, again, thank you for everything you did for us this year, all the hard work and dedication you put in. And make no mistake about it, okay? Just because you're graduating and you're not a member of our football team anymore, you're always a Greenfield Central Cougar. You're always welcome back at games. Come down on the sidelines. Spend a time with your brothers down there. Once a Cougar, always a Cougar. We're a family in this juncture. We're going to continue to build up a football family atmosphere because we love you and we care about you. Parents, thank you for tuning in again tonight. We appreciate all that you've done as well. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that, please feel free to message me on SportsU or via email. Again, appreciate everything you guys have done this year for us. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Good evening.